right. So I'm glad we're in OCP, not in some sort of audio trade show. So it would be very embarrassing having this audio problem. But hey, my name is Alan Chen. Thank you for coming. And then today I'm going to talk about some of the Inspire end-to-end OCP solutions and as well some of the product that we're shipping today that you can buy. And of course, looking forward to the future, what we're going to do working together with the OCP community to accelerate your working environment. So I want to do a little bit recap. So Inspire joined OCP in 2016. Ever since then, there's a lot of activities has been going on. We have contribute various different product in various different form. And this year, I think was super excited and super proud for ourselves. Like we contributed 4 product that has been accepted. And then basically you can buy those 4 product in the marketplace today. So I think that's one of the things we're really demonstrating this year as one of the key message. And second message is what Bill Carter has mentioned in the keynote today about OAI, like Open Acceleration Infrastructure and the OAM UBB. I'll go through that a little bit and this try to position ourselves as what we can offer today, and then of course like involving you guys looking down to the future. So this is what have Inspire has accomplished in terms of the contribution. We know San Jose has been available ever since 2016, so it's one of the most diverse product that's available in the market space today. It's a 2U3 node that has been used in various form factor or various different configuration throughout the industry. But what's really important is we're seeing some gaps between what Facebook has been using and what the community was looking for. Let's take an example of Mission Bay and Goose Lake. Those are the 2 products that was based on OpenRack v2 standard. First of all, we have seen Facebook has a product that's meant for acceleration and with the GPU. But there's topology. There's only singular topology available today, right? So we have see the market space and the customer that we spoke to, they want something else a little bit different. So what we did is take one of the very value production product that we have and ship, and then give it a different enclosure, and then allow customer to highly adapt the product, and then in a very quick way, and then also at a very cost-effective way. So that's what Mission Bay was all about. And Goose Lake, in another way, is we feel like there should be an alternative to what Facebook is offering, other than the entire community was looking for. We know Facebook has a very competitive space of a product called Knox and Lightning, but in terms of the storage, the serviceability, and all that, there's some features that our customer was looking for. So again, what we did is take the product that we have, shipping value, and then put it into a different enclosure. So what we're trying to express in the market space today is we don't want to reinvent the wheel, right? A lot of problem that you're facing today has been solved in multiple different ways. It could be done by Facebook. It could be done by Microsoft. It could be done by LinkedIn. But again, the way they're solving the problem might not directly benefit you. But what we can do is actually take all these different building blocks and put it into a connectivity or fabric that really can change the way that you see the product. So that's why we have these 2 new OpenRack products available. The 2 that's in the middle, the Crane Mountain, and of course the project that's right there on the left-hand side, right-hand side of you, what we call the Olympus, is actually a 4-socket platform for Microsoft Open Project Olympus Rack. So those 2 are the 4-socket platform that we have made available to the market space. And the Olympus, let's start out with the Olympus project. We have seen a gap in also what Project Olympus did, right? There's a tremendous amount of dual socket platform, GPU platform, and also storage platform. That's very reliable and very highly efficient. But there's never been a product that's 4-socket deployed in Olympus. So that's why we make that contribution available. And then let's talk about Crane Mountain. In March of this year, we make the joint announcements with Intel and then make this 19-inch platform available for a couple of the reasons. We want to make sure the market is aware that not only the dual socket is really truly for what you were using. You kind of get used to it, right? The dual socket is great as is, and it's efficient, it's high density. But what we're seeing in the market is everyone has a stereotype on when we talk about four socket, they think about SAP HANA, they think about those enterprise usage model, right? And for people in the audience today, yeah, you could be enterprise, right? And you want to enjoy that four socket. But it comes with a form factor like either 4U, it's either 8U, it's bulky, it's big, it's not designed for optimization for density, right? So that's why we introduced the 2U 4 socket, and that's available in the market space. And then also the way we've seen the cloud space, the CSPs, they were looking for more density, and they are looking for a reference platform that can use, and they're not running SAP HANA, maybe running virtual machines, maybe running some cloud application that is really not meant for the stereotype of the four socket on SAP. So we make that available as well. So this is a very quick overview of what we have make available on the market space. So let me spend a little bit more time on the Crane Mountain just in case you didn't join our March 2019 OCP Global Summit. So this is a 19-inch platform. Ever since we make that announcement in March, we have get so many inquiry on this particular platform, not only because it's a reference platform that has been used in value, but also it's probably one of the first 19-inch four-socket platform that's making into the OCP space, right? I know every one of you today, if you have an open rack, that's great. If you have a Project Olympus rack in your data center, that's great. But most likely, you might also have a co-location that simply cannot put the open rack inside of it. And you simply probably have an infrastructure that's so old that you're not gonna re-innovate it or tear it down, or basically just for you to put an open rack. So we want to have people like in the audience today to really enjoying the four socket and then running some sort of different application. Just see how that could really differentiate the platform from the dual socket you have today, or even the single socket. We have a lot of usage case that have done on the four socket for virtual machine, right? How you can actually have a bigger memory footprint and then allocate a memory footprint to the virtual core more easily. And this platform also has the SAP HANA. SAP HANA is just one of the certifications that this system has. It has VMware, it has SUSE, it has Red Hat, and all the whole 9 yards of the certification on ISV as well. So if you're really looking at the Open Rack or Project Olympus, some of the lag behind is it doesn't have all these ISV certifications as well, because the cloud CSP from Facebook, from Microsoft, they simply kind of don't care about it, right? And so this platform is really something easy for you to actually adapt, and then actually you can just buy it and then put it into your data center and run it, and then see the benefit of it. So why are we talking about four socket all of a sudden, right? We all know like Inspur has been talking about dual socket, GPU, storage, and all that, but why this year, right? So it's really a common thing or the tremendous feedback that we receive from the customer. First of all, everyone's growing a bigger and bigger data center. When they have to buy two dual socket platform instead of single socket, four socket platform, what they foresee very quickly is, hey, they could have reduced the NIC card they have to purchase. Imagine a dual socket platform, regardless of what kind of protocol you have to have. You have to have an operating system and then a NIC card, right? And that's only 2 CPU. And then as you imagine, like Samsung was talking about acceleration earlier, I believe there's going to be a couple of the networking switch people was talking about acceleration, the networking fabric from the 10 gig to the 25 gig to the 100 gigs. Imagine the cost you have to spend on each of the port, each of the operating system, or each of the pizza boxes that you purchase. The cost over there, the overlay on the cost is just so big, you cannot really ignore it anymore. So a lot of customers we have spoke with saying, hey, instead of buying 2 dual socket, I would just rather buy a 4 socket and run the application that I run it today. The VMs, the Hadoop, the HANA, of course, right? And all this Spark stuff. And then what they can really enjoy is reduce the networking costs, not only on the networking side, the NIC card side, but also on the switch side, right? We know there's a lot of people out there in the trade show right now. Flow today was talking about Sonic, was talking about how the white box switch is going to be benefiting to them. But again, reducing your NIC card, the ports, the cables, the all these things is also really important. So that's why we see a tremendous amount of benefit of changing from the dual socket to the four socket. And you might ask, am I increasing my fail domain because I switched from the dual socket to the four socket? Actually, you know what? A lot of people has different opinion on this. Silicon CPU, right, was so reliable today, and then it almost got to the point that it's not fail. It's not a chance you can actually have it fail, right? And then motherboard that we introduced is not something we ship in hundreds of quantity. We ship this in thousands, 100,000s. So it has been field tested in a way that it has been never tested before. So when you get this box, the chance of getting this box fail is almost close to, I wouldn't say zero. Zero is a number that has probably a lot of meaning to it, but I'll say it's really, really low, right? So the fail domain of that is really low, and then with all the benefit that you can enjoy by reducing your capex, I think that's why a lot of people are jumping the gun to actually take this platform. So like I said earlier, we have filled the gap. There's a four-socket platform that's not available in the Project Olympus. So if you do have a Project Olympus rack and you really want to see that benefit of the four-socket, you can definitely take a look at this one. And then the Mission Bay. That's one of the first contribution that we have today. And then on the GPU, and later on the later slides, I'll talk about OAI. I think you guys can see how Inspur envisioned the AI community and how we envision the ecosystem is going to be very, very different from now on. And then, of course, we have this storage. It's just an alternative to what the Facebook Knox is making available. And then we have 2U with 34 large form factor drive with a couple of the NVMe support that could really significantly reduce your storage costs and running Spark and Hadoop and all this application. That was really mission critical to you. All right. I think on the first slide, I talk about open source hardware advocator, right? And one thing hasn't been really mentioned in the open community is, hey, we all know Facebook is OpenRack, right? We all know Microsoft is Project Olympus. But again, like echo to what I just said myself to earlier is you have co-locations. You have places that is so small or so old that you simply cannot put a new rack inside of it, right? So that's why we also joined Open 19 initiative, which is led by LinkedIn. The way LinkedIn envisioned the future data center is not Blade server, right? But of course, they see a lot of Blade benefit out of this. So we have created this chassis that has multiple different building blocks. They call it bricks. They have half bricks, full bricks, and then multiple different form factor that can actually fit in. So imagine this is like a Lego. You can plug in any kind of size of a brick into that chassis as long as it fits. And then we're creating multiple different bricks for various different applications with the compute, with the storage. And then the benefit of this is it also remove one of the very troublesome backplane, a very complex backplane. The Blade server has a very complex backplane. It's great as it is because it's easy to service. It's easy to swap in any kind of blade and then have all kind of signal running through that backplane. But when you have a complex backplane, you create kind of single point of failure. And then also like the complexity of it could cause down the road like some sort of trouble, right? Issues. So what Open19 did was so great is it simplified the networking or the fabric behind the chassis. It has a cable tie. It's so well designed that you can actually run power through it. You can run up to 100 gig of networking protocol through it, and then the signal integrity is gonna be like something you've never seen before. But of course, you're not gonna have that kind of SAS capability running through the backplane, which could create a complexity of the backplane and then cause it to fail. So again, if you are not using some sort of complex of compute storage mixture, and then you have to change all the constant, like this is gonna be a platform for you on Open19, and then it fits on every single 19-inch rack that you have on hand today. So I think that's something significant enough. And on the Open19 building blocks that we again leverage some of the biggest value products that we have shipped. So it's not a brand new motherboard. You're not gonna be the the piggyback of this motherboard or this infrastructure because it's the first thing that you've seen. This has been field tested in thousands of field tested servers that we have shipped to the customer already. So again, innovation from the edge to the cloud. I think we have been known as a cloud service provider for hardware, right? But edge has been a very big topic throughout the last couple months or years. And then we have been working very closely and active with Open OCP, and then to try to mash what we have been designed with some of the biggest telco company in Asia, the China Mobile, China Telecom, and all this, and then try to contribute what they have designed for edge in terms of the spec back to OCP. Again, we want to create an ecosystem that's so big and scale that everyone can actually get all this product at a very cost-effective way, and then also a very reliable way. So I'm hoping after the speech, you can see Inspur as a company that has not only the cloud, but also investing ourselves into the edge. So we're also actively talking to the open edge community, try to create some sort of differentiator on the open edge ecosystem. So since we're in Armstead today, right? So I want to do a little bit commercial, just one page. Don't worry about it, right? So we have a facility that's locally here in Europe, in Hungary. And then we have a capacity of doing L11, because if you're talking about Open Rack, if you're talking about Open 19, if you're talking about Project Olympus, all these are full rack solution. You need to find a partner that actually can benefit you to deliver the full rack to your data center, and then just power it on without worry about too much of it, right? So that's why we have the facility out here. And then the annual capacity rate is about 50,000 server that you can actually, we can build from there. And then with the global footprint, that we can actually deliver about 2 million servers in a year. All right, lastly, let me look at the time for the interest of time. But this one, I think I want to spend a little bit more time on it. So when we first engaging with OEM, right? So this is a very great idea. Like we feel like there's a lot of hype on the AI, but it's dominating by a couple of the silicon providers out there because they obviously have the money, they have the cash, they have the ecosystem. But one of the biggest challenge that our customer are foreseeing is they have to run through multiple different vendors to buy different servers from a vendor, and then combining with all these different very OEM they have to compete with or buy from, compare with. They end up have a very lengthy validation process because they have to validate it like maybe 20 systems from different form factor, different vendors, right, and different solutions in order to find the best solution for their needs. With the OEM and OAI, I think it will come to the point that an end user can actually have a very direct apple-to-apple comparison, compare the silicons, right? So you have an OEM module that could be made by Intel, NVIDIA, AMD, Xilinx, or even startups. They know what kind of envelope they have to design. For the startup, especially for the startups, right? There could be only a couple of people having a great idea, but they never have a chance to bring that technology to the market because they don't have the resources or design or capability to talk to ODM or OEM like us. But when this envelope is become a constant, they can design a silicon fitting within this envelope. And for people like us, we can invest a very small amount of money to bring that product into the market and allow our end customer to really do an apple-to-apple comparison. So we are working with Baidu to actually have that. We had been working with Baidu to actually have the first mock-up of the OEM that's available in our booth today. So I know I'm running a little bit higher on late on time already. So we're gonna have an open BMC update tomorrow, and then our senior director of the product is gonna be talking about that. And then lastly, so we will have a conversation on OCP partnership on not just only the Crane Mountain, but the OEM at 4 o'clock at our booth at B6. And then for tomorrow, from 2 o'clock to 2:55, we'll have an engineer workshop on talking about Inspur's RMC, open RMC solutions. And that's going to be something huge. So you should be hopefully attending. All right. If you guys have a question, I'll be here. I think I'm running out of time. I don't want to stop the next presenter. So I'll be here. Thank you.